this is Vijay Lakshmi, DAV RTPP, Kadapa, Faculty in Department of Science. In previous class, we discussed about different types of animal tissue. Among the animal tissue, in previous class, we discussed connective tissue. Connective tissue is of three types: connective tissue proper, supportive connective tissue, fluid connective tissue. And this connective tissue proper is divided into fibrous connective tissue, areolar connective tissue, adipose connective tissue. This fibrous connective tissue is again divided into ligament and tendon. Ligament means where bone and bone joins. Tendon means joint between bone and muscle. Today we go back to the another connective tissue called fluid connective tissue. See, in our body, a fluid media is present. This fluid media transport various substances to all parts of the body. This fluid media connects the body parts. So, this fluid media is nothing but blood. So, blood connects the body parts. That's why blood is called as fluid connective tissue. See, let us quick recap about the characteristic feature of a connective tissue. We discussed that all the connective tissues consist of, when you observe them under a microscope, they have scattered cells, and these scattered cells have large intercellular spaces. That intercellular spaces is called matrix. Similarly, we too have scattered cells in the blood, but here the special thing is matrix is in the form of liquid. That's why blood is called fluid connective tissue. In the blood, all the blood cells will float in liquid plasma. There are different types of blood cells. Let us discuss. Blood is red in color, and blood had two parts, cell and liquid. Liquid is nothing but liquid is called plasma, and it is a yellow color fluid. And cells are of two types, which are in large quantities, lesser quantities. Large quantity cells are nothing but RBC. Lesser quantity cells are WBC and platelets. WBC and platelets. Now coming to the RBC. RBC are also called as erythrocytes. They are also called as erythrocytes. They are red in color due to the presence of a red color pigment called hemoglobin. What is the name of that pigment? Hemoglobin. And this hemoglobin impart red color to the blood. Red color to the blood. That's why RBC are red in color. They are biconcave in shape. The shape of RBC is biconcave or disc shape. So when they are biconcave or disc shape, they increase the surface area so that they can transport large amount of oxygen to various parts of the body. That's why their shape is in biconcave in shape. And these red blood cells, see, the blood is not red in color in all animals. There are some animals which have colorless blood. For example, you take cockroach. Cockroach has white color blood. What type of blood you see in cockroach? White color blood due to absence of RBC. When you go for snail and all, they have blue color blood. So why cockroach have white color blood? Due to absence of RBC. Snail have blue color blood. And there is nearly about 5 liters of blood in an adult human being. And these RBC are more in number compared to WBC and platelets. The next type of cells, we call them as WBC. And WBC are white in color. They are also called as leukocytes. Erythrocytes, leukocytes. Red blood cells are called as erythrocytes. White blood cells are called as leukocytes. And these white blood cells, based on their presence or absence of granules, they are divided into two types, granulocytes or granulocytes. Granulocytes are again divided into three types based on their nucleus. They are neutrophils, basophils, eosinophils. Neutrophils, basophils, eosinophils. Neutrophils have many lobed nucleus, and basophils have S-shaped nucleus, and eosinophils have two lobed nucleus. You can see here small spherical structures. They are called as granules. What we call them? Granules. Now coming to the agranulocytes. Agranulocytes are of two types, lymphocytes and monocytes. Lymphocytes have round shaped nucleus. Monocytes have kidney shaped nucleus. And these neutrophils, basophils, eosinophils, they all attack the microorganism or invading germs and engulf them. And in 1 ml of blood, nearly we have 5 millions of RBC. And these RBC are formed in bone marrow of long bones. When you are in the womb of your mother or in your embryonic stage, RBC are produced in liver and spleen. But when you grow into adult, RBC will be produced in the long bone marrows. In the longer bone marrow. Bone marrow is the central cavity present in the bone. Now coming to the agranulocytes. Agranulocytes are two types already. I said lymphocytes and monocytes. Lymphocytes produce antibodies and protect our body from invading germs. Monocytes will kill the dead germs and send them out in the form of pus. That's why monocytes are also called as scavengers. Apart from this, there is another very important substance present in the blood called heparin. Heparin will prevent the blood clotting inside the blood vessel. Inside the blood vessel, blood will never clot because of presence of a chemical called heparin. Now this is about the fluid connective tissue. See, you walk, children, you walk, you stand, you sit. What facilitate all these things? Sitting, standing, climbing. There is a very special tissue called muscle tissue. What is the name of the tissue? Muscle tissue. The contraction and relaxation of muscles will help for the movement of our body parts. So muscle tissues contract and relax and facilitate the movement of our body parts. These muscle tissues are of three types: voluntary muscles, involuntary muscles, cardiac muscles. Coming to the voluntary muscles, these voluntary muscles are under our control. The muscles which are under our control, they act as per our will. See, for example, if you want to walk, you walk. If you want to sit, you sit. If you want to play, you play. The muscles present in your hands and legs are under our control. So, such type of muscles, we call them as voluntary muscles. When you look voluntary muscles under microscope, we can come across some light and dark bands. This is a dark band, this is a light band. Alternate with the light and dark bands. These bands, we call them as striations. What we call them? Striations. When you observe, we come across striations on these muscles. That's why these muscles are also called as striated muscles. And these muscles are individual cells. The cells are individual. This is one cell, this is another cell. When you observe the nucleus, they are multinucleated. Many nucleus is present inside these cells. So that's why they are called as multinucleated. The membrane that surrounds these muscles, we call it as sacrolemma. What we call it? Sacrolemma. The membrane that bounds the cell, we call it as plasma membrane. Just like that, the membrane that bounds the muscle cells, we call it as sacrolemma. And the substance and the fluid that is present inside this membrane is called as sacroplasm. What we call it? Sacroplasm. And these muscles are attached to the bones and help for the movement of our body. That's why they are also called as skeletal muscles. See, when we do exercise, these muscles get tired or fatigue. These voluntary muscles, after regular physical exercises, we get tired or fatigued and develop cramps. But when you relax yourself, when you take rest, again they come to their normal position. Now another muscle is called as involuntary muscle. When you observe this involuntary muscle under microscope, they look like spindle shape. They look like some spindle shape. They do not have any striations. No striations is present. And these muscles are present in almost all the internal organs of our body, like blood vessels, intestine, stomach, etc. And these muscles have only one nucleus. That's why they are called as uninucleated. And they have some fibrous substances called microfibrils. Microfibrils. They are not under our control. The cells are very loosely packed and no striations. They are not under our control and they does not get tired. They do their work whenever it required. For example, when you eat food, digestion takes place. That time the involuntary muscles present in the intestine, they help for digestion. After completion of digestion, they come to their relaxation position and they does not get tired. These muscles do not have any striations, so we call them as smooth muscles. What we call them? We call them as smooth muscles. Now coming to the another important muscle called cardiac muscle. The word itself, cardiac, represent heart. Cardiac means what? Heart. The heart is made up of a very specialized muscles called cardiac muscles. These cardiac muscles continuously contract and relax right from birth until the end of the person's lifetime. When this cardiac muscle stops contracting and relaxation, it indicates the death of the person. And these cardiac muscles will never get tired. They never get tired. Once they get tired, they stop functioning and leads to the death of the person. When you observe these cardiac muscles under the microscope, you can come across striations, light and dark bands, and you come across nucleus. You can also come across nucleus. Basically, these cardiac muscles are individual cells, but they fuse to form multinucleated. One individual cell fuses with another individual cell with a disc-like structure called intercalated disc. What we call the disc-like structure? Intercalated disc. And they are striated in structure but involuntary in function. They are involuntary in function. See, for 1 minute the heart starts beating 72 times per minute. In a year it beats 37.84 millions, and approximately for 70 years it starts beating 2.6 billion years. Okay children, thank you. We meet in the next session tomorrow.